Alright, in this video we are going to go through importing multiple calendars into Outlook. We are going to show you how to utilize both the internet version of Outlook, which is called Outlook Web Apps, and we are going to show you how to utilize the desktop version of Outlook as well. The first thing that I'm going to want to do is actually sign in to Outlook Web Apps, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm already signed in here, but I'll show you again. You go to portal.office.com in the address bar. That's going to take you to the sign in page, and once you sign in, that'll take you here. You'll click on calendar. That'll take you to your calendar. And if you don't already have anything on your calendar, it'll look like this. You start out with one personal calendar. That's it. In order to add multiple calendars, you're going to have to add calendars. There's multiple places that you can do that. You can do that online, or you can do that using the desktop application. I'll show you how to do both. Let's say that I've got a personal and a work email that I wanted to add both onto this on here. Just for the sake of this example, I'm going to minimize this window, and I've also signed into both of the calendars that I want to add. So I've got a work email or work calendar, and you can see from this that my work calendar has a lot on it. So I'm going to use actually the desktop version of Outlook to move my work calendar, just because I've seen some errors when I try to move too much stuff in the online version. And then I've got my personal calendar. Now, even though I see my work here, you can see on the actual personal calendar, I don't really have that much. So I'm going to use the online version to migrate my personal calendar. The way that I will migrate the calendar is I'm going to go to the particular calendar that I want to migrate. So you can see I've got all these different calendars. It's this Ben personal Gmail in this case. So just make sure, if you're not sure if that's the one, you can always uncheck it and then recheck it. And if the events that you want to move disappear and then reappear, that's your calendar. We'll click this downward facing triangle, go to calendar settings, and I will scroll down to export calendar. Select export this calendar, and I will go to the desktop and click save. Now I'll notice that it's going to download in a zip format. I have to double click and open up the zip and then move the file onto the desktop in order to be able to move it up. I can't move it from within the zip file. And I've actually already done my other email address, so I won't go through doing the second calendar, but you do the same thing as the first one. All I did was go over to my work calendar and do the same thing, go to calendar settings and download that and then take it out of the zip file. Okay, let me go back to Outlook now, the Outlook web app, and I will upload my personal calendar. Now, I used personal when I said here, but what I meant is your personal work calendar. Maybe I should have said primary. This is your primary work calendar. I say work because Office 365 for us is for work. I want to create a new calendar to upload my actual personal calendar. So I'm going to create this, or hit this new calendar button, and I'll put personal. And once I've created that, I can click off. And now when I go to add calendar from file, it's going to give me a drop-down menu of which calendar I want to import into. So I'm going to select personal. I'm going to browse to my ICS file, my Ben personal here. Click open, and then I'll click save. And it'll take a few seconds. Like I said, there's not too much in there, so it shouldn't take too long. I'll pause it and come back when it's done. Alright, looks like I was wrong about that not having too many events. Apparently it didn't have too many events in that particular week. But here is the error message that you get when you try and upload too much. Now, Sometimes, even though you get this message, it uploads everything. And perhaps sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. And there's some uncertainty in that still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click OK. I'm actually kind of glad that message came up. I'll click discard. And, over time, I might see, everything come in. I might not. And so I actually want to go ahead and delete this. And I'm going to show you how to now re-upload it using the desktop version. So I'm going to go and I'm going to delete that. Yes, I'm sure I want to delete the calendar. Oh, the calendar can't be deleted. It's probably still trying to put events into it. What I'll do in the meantime is I'm going to go down to the desktop version to upload my other calendar, my personal calendar. So I'll go down to the desktop version, and I've already shown you in another video how to set up the desktop application, and I've also shown in another video. Let me dismiss all that. I've already shown you in another video how to also clear out your personal calendar if you accidentally migrated multiple calendars into it or did something like that. So what it looks like is happening is it looks like it actually did correctly migrate at least some of the events. I can see what's going on and see that it did migrate a lot. I'm still going to end up deleting this, but I'll do that in a minute. Until then, we're going to switch back over to the primary work calendar, and I'm going to migrate that now. In order to do that, I'm going to go to File and Open and Import, and I'll select Import an iCalendar or vCalendar file, then Next, and here's where I'm going to migrate or move to my work email ICS file that I downloaded. Click OK, and it gives me this option. It says, do you want to open this as new or do you want to import it? Now, it doesn't give you the option, as it does online, to import into multiple different calendars. If you click import here, there's only one calendar that it's going to go to, and that's your primary. So you can't import multiple calendars into separate places. The only way you can import into another place is to actually create a new calendar. Fortunately, I do want to import into my primary calendar, so I'm going to select import. So it says, opening calendar item. So that's fast. The desktop version is fast. It's going to take a minute to synchronize to the online version, but the desktop version is fast. That's one of the things we like. Now, I'm going to go ahead and actually delete my personal because I got that error. I don't know if it actually synchronized everything. So let me delete this one. Am I sure that I want to delete personal? Yes, I am. I'm going to delete that. And I'm not going to worry about the synchronization. I'm just going to get everything right in the desktop, and then it'll synchronize over the course of 5, 10, 15 minutes with the online version, deleting that personal. And what I'll do now is I'm going to use the desktop version as well to upload or migrate my personal calendar as well. So I'll go to File again, Open, Import an iCalendar. Next, I'm going to once again go to the desktop, once again select my personal. Now in this case though, when it says do I want to import, I'm not. That would import it into my main calendar again. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to select that I want it to be a new calendar. And then it's going to work. So it looks like I did have a lot more. I had something like 1,500 events as opposed to 300 and something for my work calendar. So I was totally wrong about that. I had way more for my personal. But it's saying that I had some issues. It might have just been a particular property in some of these different events. I don't know exactly what created that. I could search it up on Google. I'm not gonna get too worried about it. It just says the property is being ignored. It didn't say that it's not bringing the email in. So I'm just going to assume that it did successfully, or not email, but not bring the calendar event in. So I'm going to assume that it just ignored that property in the events. I'll X out of there. And now I'll go back to the online version and see how it's doing. Well, actually, first I'll go back to Outlook and I'll make sure to click the Send Receive button to at least get the updating started. And now I'll click the refresh button, or press F5 on the keyboard, and that'll refresh. We'll see how the sync is coming about. So the only difference, it looks like the only difference here between creating the calendar online and then uploading to it, and between selecting that I want to create a new calendar using the desktop version, is you can see instead of having the calendar here under My Calendars, I've got it here under Other Calendars. So not a big deal. I can still do the same general things. I can still right click and share the calendar. Still the same general things apply. So that's how to use the online version to create extra calendars and migrate into multiple calendars, but how to also make use of the desktop version of Outlook when you run into situations where you've just got too many events. So in that case, 1,500 was clearly too many for the online version to get them all in. As we saw, it got some of them. I don't know if it got all of them. So hopefully that will help you.